So Arsenal 3, Lyon 0, 2-1 on penalties. Some of the worst pens you'll ever see in your life. If you haven't checked out the last penalty for Lyon, go and find it somewhere. It was hilarious. But a comfortable day's work. It was nice to see Arsenal back in action. Some fantastic performances, some great goals as well today. And the second string looked really great against Lyon's first string. Jez, for anybody who hasn't checked out your fan cam, make sure you go and check it out. Make sure you check out his channel as well. Link in description, Arsenal history and more. Give us your little breakdown of how you thought the game went, mate.
I thought it was unbelievable. I wasn't actually expecting a performance like that, to be fair. But I have to say, Lyon, they are absolutely pony. We just commanded that game from minute 1 to the 90th minute. They were awful. And some of those players in that team today, our team, especially in the first half, I thought had some excellent performances. And when we brought on our under 11s, it looked like they were, but it looked like they were incredible. I thought, who the hell are these kids? I have to say, Lee, I don't know bloody any one of them. And yeah, I mean, I'd like to be able to sit here and say, oh, yeah, I know who that was. I know that was. I know who that was.
Oh, like, we knew one 15-year-old was.
Well, we knew one of them because he turned up against Brentford.
Yes, he did. We haven't seen him since until today.
But at the end of the day, I'm sure there'll be a lot of YouTubers out there knowing, oh, yeah, well, I know about this guy. I know about that guy. Because they go up to Hale End and they watch them every day. Bullshit. Anyway, it was a great performance and it was a good win.
Yeah, I totally agree, mate. It was a joy to watch. And it was actually a nice little welcome break from watching international football. I know you've been enjoying the World Cup. To be honest, the games that I've watched, I've enjoyed as well, apart from England and America. The rest of the games that I've watched have been pretty decent. But let's get into player ratings. Let's start with the hero, really. Ended up being a hero, didn't he? The goalkeeper. Didn't have a great deal to do in the game itself, but in the penalty shootouts, he saved 4 penalties, Jez. Like, what did you make of old Cole Hine? It could be he could be man of the match. I don't know. It's your player ratings.
Yeah, I mean, I think I may be wrong in saying so. I think I've seen him play once before in a friendly. Yeah, wow. He could be the upcoming goalkeeper for Estonia. He's Estonian by all accounts. And yeah, he didn't have a lot to do in the game, did he? Let's be fair. Lyon were that poor. But yeah, I'll for his shot stopping ability in the penalty shootout, although they were awful penalties, I will give him an 8.
Yeah, I thought he was good as well. I can't lie. I thought he was quality. He looked good with his feet as well, which is saying that Runnison and Tina Turner haven't been. Yeah, he is confident. He looks super young as well. How old is the guy? Let me have a look. He is 20 years old. He turned 20 this year. He looks super young. Let's go on to the next player, Kieran Tierney, my left back. I thought he'd done all right today. What did you make of him?
Yeah, I thought he was quality, mate. Absolute quality. He absolutely bossed that left side down that wing. They couldn't handle him. Lyon couldn't deal with him, to be honest. And he's got an 8 from me. And some of the crosses he was making, some of his shutdowns he was doing against the Lyon players were quality, absolutely. So he's an 8 for me.
Let's go to the opposite side. Cedric Suarez.
Cedric put a good shift in again today, and can't fault him. He wasn't as busy as Tierney, in my opinion, so he'll get a 7.
Let's go to Rob Holding.
Rob Holding put in a good shift again. Not my favourite player, I have to say, but he did a job today, and I liked some of his movement. Some of his passing today I thought was absolutely sublime. Sniping passing, in my book, he gets a 7.
Let's go to Gabriel Magalhaes. Scored a bullet header. Very nearly scored another goal after that as well, which just went wide. I loved his goal, man. I do like seeing a bullet header from a centre back. It looks class, doesn't it?
Yeah, he had a great game today. He wasn't really troubled, was he? Let's be fair. He did his job, commanded what he had to do. Great header, as you said. Goalkeeper's never going to stop that. And surprised how unmarked he was at that corner by Lyon, to be fair. He just got up, rose like a salmon, classic term, bang, in it was. And yeah, he could have another one. He's got an 8 for me as well.
Let's move into midfield. Somebody we've been mad critical of, Sambi Lokonga.
I thought he'd done well today. I think the thing is, Lee, we were up against such a terrible, awful team. As I said in my fan cam to you, I don't think Lyon really wanted to be there today. I don't think they could be asked. They weren't interested. They didn't look interested. Lokonga for me got a 7.
Let's go to Mohamed El Neni. Didn't look like he'd been away with injury at all.
No, I mean, thing is, I actually go against the grain. I actually like El Neni because whenever he has to jump into the team, he always does a shift. He always turns up. He does it. He's not the greatest. We all know that. But Mohamed El Neni always does his job. And I can't be critical of the guy. When he came in, when we had problems last season, when we had injuries in our midfield, he stepped up. He did a job. And for me today, he got an 8.
Let's go to Martin Odegaard.
Odegaard, I thought today was sublime at times. I really did. I thought this guy is starting to show up, showing some potential, and he's been good this season. Let's get it right. Yes, he disappears. I know that, and I accept that. But today, I thought he was quality, and for me, he gets an 8.
Reece Nelson, unlucky not to score, hit the post.
Yeah.
Run his socks off as well. Just didn't quite happen for him today, did it?
No. Reece Nelson, nice to see him play. Now he's back fit. And yeah, I thought he did well. And unlucky, that was a bizarre shot. He hits the post, it rebounds. We could have scored, we didn't. But he gets a 7.
Let's go to Fabio Vieira. Created Eddie's goal off of the back of Sambi Lokonga's pass and then scored probably the goal of the game. Started off slow, but got a lot better. What did you make of him?
Yeah, he wasn't great to start, but he built into the game. We've criticised him. We've all criticised him, and I think this guy, he still, to me, needs to bulk up. He gets nudged off the ball far too easily, but that'll improve in my book. And he needs to bulk up quick because to me, he looks like he didn't look much bigger than the young kids we had playing in the second half, but that will change.
Yeah.
Not a great start, but awesome goal. And he's the goal he scored against, was it Man United? Was very similar to that. And I'm going to be positive with this guy. I'm going to give him an 8.
Eddie Nketiah scored a goal. Again, probably could have had another one or two. We're going to need him to step up for sure. And you're always going to get him running 100 mile an hour everywhere, but it's sometimes the lack of quality in the final third or decision making. But overall, I thought he'd done all right. He got his goal, even though he kind of scuffed it, but it was a lovely move. Yeah, take nothing away from that move. That was quality to watch. But what did you make of him, mate, before he came off?
I'm not going to persecute this guy. People will say, "Oh, you're always hard on him. You're always hard on him." Well, I'm sorry, I will say this. He's not the guy that's going to take Arsenal to win the Premier League with Gabriel Jesus out now for the rest of the season. Let's get it right. He's not coming back with knee surgery. We're not going to see him anytime soon, so we'll count him out. Yeah, it's a nice goal. He could have had another. I will give him a 7. His work rate is great, but Lee, as we always say, if you're a Premier League footballer, your work rate has to be top anyway. That's what you're paid for. He's been paid 100 grand a week. I expect more. And with an awful Lyonnais team, I would have expected a little bit more. Maybe I'm being a bit harsh, but 7 for me.
We then made 10 substitutions in total. I think the only one we could probably evaluate more than the other 9 is Marquinhos.
Yeah.
Because he was on the pitch longer than the other 9. But what did you make of him? Nearly scored a great goal. Keeper made a wicked save. He then had another chance after one of the lads hit it off the post. It come back to him, and the keeper made a great save again. Yeah, he was unlucky not to score. What did you make of him?
I thought he looked decent, actually. I haven't really seen a lot of him, have we? Let's be fair.
Nope.
And I think this is the player that we could have got for free, that we spent 3.5 million on. Well done, Edu. That's great business. Well done again. And I thought he looked good. So I'm going to give him the fact of his work rate and effort. I think he panics, but I think that's because he's desperate. He wants to prove himself. So fair play to him. I will give him a 6.
Before we get into the last 9, which I think we're probably just going to give standard 5s to anyway, who was your man of the match?
My man of the match today, I am going to give to Kieran Tierney.
Interesting.
I thought Kieran Tierney today was relentless. He covered everything. He was up and down that left wing. He was getting the crosses in. His work rate, I thought, was exceptional today. And I was deliberating between him, Odegaard, Gabriel. It's a tough one, but I'm going to give it to Tierney.
Fair enough. The other 9 that all came on.
We know them all. We just can't be bothered.
Yeah, I've doubled the length of the video, to be fair. But honestly, all jokes aside, if you're pretending you know all of these players and you know their faces and their names, you'd be lying. And we're not going to sit and pretend that we know their faces and names. So I think we're probably just going to give them standard 5 to all of them. We didn't concede a goal when they were on the pitch. They won us the penalty shootout as well, albeit Lyon. I don't know what they did. But still got to win the penalty shootout. It doesn't matter how poor the opposition are. You still got to keep a clean sheet. We looked lively as well with some of these kids on the pitch. We had 2 15-year-olds on, but the other 9 are all going to get a 5. And it just goes to show the substandard of that French division, because when you can have literally a whole bunch of kids on the pitch, I think the goalkeeper in the second half at one point, I think by the time that game ended, I think the goalkeeper I think it was Matt Smith or the goalkeeper was our oldest player on the pitch, and he was 20 or 21. Yeah. So big up to Arsenal Academy. Big up to all of them young lads that came on. It must have been a dream to play for Arsenal. And big up to the lads, the 2 lads that scored the penalties for Arsenal. But we're going to rate the manager. For anybody who doesn't agree with the ratings, we don't care. We're back again on Tuesday for the Milan game, and then Saturday for the Juve game. But we're going to do a 3, 2, 1 countdown and rate Arteta. 3, 2, 1. 9. Hey, look at that. 9. We didn't even decide this before we went live. We just did it. 9. I thought he was quality, and he's obviously got them riled up. And do you know what? I think it was Neftali said it in his fan cam. He said the style of play didn't change, like from the first to some of the patterns. Yeah, he said the Vieira goal, that's normally Ben White passing that ball. It goes into Odegaard, and then Thomas Partey slaps it. Yeah, this time it went into Odegaard, funny enough, and then Vieira slapping it. But this time it was somebody else. It was Cedric or Reece, or like the patterns of play. Sambi Lokonga, I thought that midfield three was superb today. Yeah, and we can sit there and say it was only Lyon, but that first 11 of Lyon that started was their first 11. Yeah, and we fucking hammered them. Yeah, 3-0 at half time. The second half, we knew there was going to be a hat full of changes, but we still didn't concede a goal, Jez. So, yeah, big up to Arteta, man. He's obviously got that team rocking. And
yeah, and fair play. I mean, let's get it right. There's a play that we were looking at. What's happened to him?
Dembele, Lacazette.
Yeah,
the goalkeeper's decent.
He looks
like the right back. We've been linked to the right back.
And when those kids came on in that big change, I said earlier that they were up against some big, bulky players, and they were bossing them. Yeah. And now you think you've got some of these players like they're 26, 27, 5'10", 6 foot, and you've got these kids that are like 16, 17, 18, and they're turning them inside out. I mean, I would hope that Arsenal, we know that we don't do this, Arsenal would give these guys some futures. To me, not that I'm an expert, and I'm not, they look like some decent talent there, seriously. And I'd hope that they move on, and one day in 6, maybe 5, 6 years, we see them on the first team. It'd be nice. I doubt it will happen because that's not the Arsenal way, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's been good. It's been good to watch some Arsenal as well. Big up to everybody who's watched this. Make sure you subscribe, like, and share. Jez's link will be in the description, so make sure you check his channel out as well. And yeah, we'll be doing this again on Tuesday when we go and slap up AC Milan and then do them on penalties as well. But until then, we're out of here, people. Adios, amigos. Later.
Concordia Crescent.